Hey, what's going on? Matthew Tamer here. Listen, I hope that you're having a wonderful, magnificent, and an incredible day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for tuning wherever you're watching this from. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you tuning in today. Well, I have another exciting show for you today, and I have something I really want to share with it. I'm excited to really get this information to you. So as always, make sure that you have something to write with, whether it's a pen, paper, iPad, tablet, tissue, a napkin, whatever you can find, because I want you to get this, okay? I want you to really take your time to understand what I'm going to share with you, because it will literally change the way that you do business. And as always, if you can go somewhere that's quiet, if you're able to do that, then you can be able to get that done. So please do that right now. But today I'm excited because I'm going to give you strategies to demolish and dominate your competitor or your competition. If you want to make some noise, if you want to really make some noise in your industry, at the end of this video, you're going to have the strategies and things that you need to do in order to really just dominate your competition, dominate the industry. These are proven techniques that work. They work for me. They work for so many other entrepreneurs. So I'm excited to get that. So let's get going here. Now, the first thing is, number one, know your weaknesses. It's so important for you to know what your weaknesses are. Because I see sometimes people go into business and they have no clue what they're good at, what they're not good at, what they need to work on. So you want to have like a scale, for example, or some type of a ladder. Okay. So at the very top, this are like your core competency. These are the things that you are the greatest at, like you're really good at. And then in the middle, you have things that you're okay. And then at the bottom, you have things that you're not good at. So know your weaknesses. It's okay. We'll have them. Number two, know your competitors' weaknesses. Every company has a weakness. Every company. So what you got to do is you have to study your competitors. Look at what they're doing that's great. And I guarantee you, for every great thing they're doing, they probably have 5 or 6 things that they're not so good at. Your job now is to be able to study and analyze. Take a large company, for example. Let's say you're trying to go up against a really major company that has maybe tens of thousands, over hundreds of thousands of workers, and you probably just a 1 or 2 man team, right? And you're probably saying, Matthew, how can someone that has just a 2-man team or maybe 5 or 6, and I have to go up against someone that has 100,000 members or 100,000 employees? How is that possible? Well, I want to give you just a little tip, just a little something. See, the larger a company gets, the harder it becomes to manage it. So your size is actually an advantage for you. Don't look at your size as, oh man, I'm not this, I'm just, your size is actually an advantage for you. So you have to learn how to use that, because bigger companies, sometimes they have too many departments that things have to go through to sometimes get approved, which means that customer service sometimes can take a longer period of time because they got to go through this department, go through that department. I know you've called sometimes, right? You've called companies sometimes, and especially the bigger ones, and you got to wait on the phone. You have this, voicemail come up, and this automated voice person start talking to you, ask you questions, and you're like, oh my goodness, I just want to talk to a person. As where if you're a small company, when someone calls, they get you immediately. That's a major difference. That's a big advantage for you. Number 3, you want to master at least 3 skill sets. Okay, you want to be able to master something and do it better than anyone else in the industry. Just choose 3 things that you want to say, okay, I want to be known for these X, Y, and Z, or 1, 2, 3. And you zero in on those 3 things. Because when you master those 3 things and you become the best, and you're going to be known for those things in the industry. Right? When I think, for example, when I mention fast food in the US, you typically think about a particular place. When I mention cell phones or tablets, you typically think about a particular company. When I mention cars, you probably have one of the major companies come to mind. That is because that company have set themselves apart because they have mastered a few things, and they are great at those things. So you have to master 3 things. And you work your butt off to really make sure that those things are always at the very top. The next point is don't try to be Superman or super giant or Goliath or the magnificent one. So many times people have this mentality that in order for you to be your competitors, you have to be this Goliath, be this giant. When in actuality, the smaller companies have a lot of advantage because you standing from afar looking in, this gives you so much view from your vantage point that you can be able to come in and attack at the right places at the right time. All right, the next one, specialize, not generalize. This is really, really key. And I alluded to this before. You want to specialize in something. You just don't want to. Now, if your business model is the type that you want to just generalize everything, you want to sell everything, do everything, then that's what you're going for. That's great for you. But if you really, really want to really get up there, you want to be able to have some type of a specialty. Now, I was watching a documentary one time, and they were looking for a particular part for an airplane that they wanted to build. Now, this is like a real sophisticated airplane, and they wanted a specific part. And this part was so small, but it was probably one of the most important parts in the aircraft. It was for the military. So they looked around and they came across this guy that all he does is he specializes in creating just that part. Now, there are other companies out there that they can do something similar, but they chose this guy, this small business, because he specialized in creating that part that was needed. And he got a huge contract for that. So when you specialize, people know exactly what to come to you for. It's like you can't go to a fast food restaurant and try to buy a car, or you can't go to a car dealership and try to buy a house. It just doesn't work that way. So make sure that you're specialized in something instead of being generalized. And then the next point is find a niche. Okay, a niche, however you want to call it. And as I just mentioned before, find a niche. Okay, something that one of the great things about niche is that you can zero in on a particular industry. Maybe you want to focus on you have the health industry, which is huge. Right. And maybe we want to focus on people that are between the ages of, 25 to 30. And maybe we want to focus on a particular gender. There are people that they do health, but they focus particularly just on females. That's who their market is. So they find that niche and they focus on that specific market or demographic. I've seen so many people make this mistake. They are launching a business and they want to reach everybody. They want to market to everyone. The truth of the matter is the harsh, but the reality, not everybody needs what you're offering. That's the bottom line. So I really had to learn this, especially in the beginning, because I see people going left, going right. As a matter of fact, when I first started, I used to get a lot of emails from people that saying, hey, you got to check out this next big thing. You got to check it out. And about a week or so later, I received another email again from that same person, or those same individuals. Listen, man, you got to jump on this right now. This is the next big thing. It's the next hottest thing. And every month, I'm getting a bunch of emails from people like that. So you don't want to just, be all over the place. And then this other point too is this. When you are small, you have to appear big. Then when you get big, you crush your competition. So when you're small, you look at some of the most successful companies like the Amazons and the Microsofts and the Google and the Apple. When the iPhone came, Apple really wasn't doing much. But when the iPhone came in, they were small. Not as their competitors were, but then they were small. And then all of a sudden, people thought they were this big company. And then all of a sudden, and that perception give them larger than life wings, and they just rode on those wings. So what I'm saying to you is appear bigger than you actually are. What that means is you have to pay a lot of attention to your branding. Your website, for example. I've been to websites that they have 2 employees, 1 employee, and you would not have the slightest clue that this particular company only have 1 or 2 employees. And I've been to websites that have a bunch of employees and they have just 1. So the goal of it is you want to appear big, or, you can get a toll-free number. They have professional voice recording services that you can pay extra, sometimes $50, $100, and they'll record a professional greeting for your company. So when people call, if you're not there, that answering service is going to answer for you, and people are going to get this perception like, wow, this company is huge. So your branding plays a major part in you appearing big. So that means with your logo, with the content that you create, you can go online, and there are companies that you can pay literally pennies to create your banners for you, to create your images for you, to create graphics for you. So all those things make you look bigger than you actually are. So make sure you pay attention to that. And this point too is keep a low profile when you're starting out. Don't try to tell everybody what you're doing. This is the mistake that a lot of startups make. They share every single thing that they intend to do because they're so excited. I get it, but that's not a smart strategy. You want to keep a low profile, right? Because let people just give them enough to just tease them enough. Just put a little couple stuff out here and there, just little nuggets here and there, but you're teasing them. And then all of a sudden you come out like boom, which leads to the next point is you come out, you move fast and you move quick. You are coming out, boom, 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 boom. People are like, where did this company come from? I never heard of them, but all of a sudden I'm getting all this media, all this stuff about this company. Where did they come from? That is because initially you kept that low profile, and then your season came in, and then you're able to take off. That is very key because when you start keep things moving, you got to move fast. When your business initially get that uptrend, you want to make sure that you ride it as much as you possibly can because that one always lasts. So it'll go up and it might just balance the average out again and then go up or go down. So when it's initially going up, you want to take every advantage during that uptrend to just keep things going. And number 10, this next point is be unique. Don't come out with the same items or products that your competitors come out with. I've seen this happen so many times that one company come out with this type of phone, and then a week or 2 weeks later, another company come out with the same type of phone, but just a different name. You want to be unique in what you do. Take phones, for example. If they come out with a new cell phone, come out with a tablet or come out with a shoe, whatever it is. But don't try to copy after what they don't because now you become a follower, So you want to be able to be strategic in your uniqueness that whatever you're coming out with, for me, when I'm coming out with stuff, I do study the market on a daily basis, what's happening, what's going on, but I'm not trying to repeat or replicate what somebody else did. In other words, I'm not trying to be a copycat of every single thing that somebody else does because I have to put my own unique spin and ideas with it. And this next point, partner with your competitor's competitor. Okay, you want to partner with the competition competitor. So what that means is every major company have competitors. So you want to kind of find ways to be able to partner up with that, your competition competitor and see how, if you guys can be able to work something out to get a larger share of the market. Sometimes that's known as a merger. A merger is when two companies merge because they see that they have a better chance of defeating a larger company. That happens all the time. So if you can merge with another company and both of you benefit from it, why not go for it? That's something that's really smart. And then also you want to just kind of study the trends, study the patterns, study the history. You notice something online. Even not just online, but every business it goes through a trend. So you have a new company that comes out and that company is hot. Sometimes they're the most popular company for a few years. Everybody want a piece of it, right? Everybody want a piece of it. So, and then the company starts to leverage out. They're not as hot as they used to be because maybe things happen, people lose hope, whatever happened, but it's not as hot as it used to be. And then all of a sudden, sometimes they go down or sometimes they go up. Take Blockbuster, for example. And I just mentioned about partnering. What if Blockbuster had partnered with Netflix? The crazy thing is I actually used to have a Blockbuster card, back in the day. But what if Blockbuster had just partnered up with Netflix? that could have literally just changed the game for them. They could have gotten a piece of the action, but for whatever reason, they kind of missed that opportunity. So you want to be able to make sure that you're studying history and seeing where you can learn from it. Okay, how to avoid certain mistakes that your competitors made so that you don't repeat that same thing. And also, let other people, let other competitors, let them wear down your competition, because sometimes your competitors, they're so busy trying to match up with this one that they get worn down, and then you come in. It's just like when you go play a match, right? And you have you reserve your best 2 players for the last 15 minutes or whatever. You playing your opponent and they're playing hard. The other team, they've used their best players. Their best players are worn out. But you have about 2 fresh legs that you can put in the game. Guess what? Those 2 fresh legs come in, they'll make a whole lot of difference because they're fresh, they're energetic, they're ready to go, and they can dominate now because your competitor, they'll use everyone on their team, and their team is just so worn out. But you're bringing fresh legs and keep things going. And the final point, keep your best move a secret. I cannot emphasize this enough. Keep every company has a secret sauce. Every entrepreneur, you need to have a secret sauce that you don't share with anyone. If you look at Pepsi, for example, they're not going to tell you their recipes, what they use in Pepsi or Coke, all those things. It's kept a secret. So make sure that you keep your secret sauce a secret and just kind of sprinkle a little bit over time. I guarantee you that is going to get people just keep coming in more and more and more. But you don't want to share every single thing that you're doing. Okay, so keep your secret sauce, keep that thing that kind of separates you from the best. Keep that a secret. Don't share it with the world, So listen, hopefully this helped you out. And you can be able to use this strategy to dominate your competition. I look forward to you just crushing it this year. I mean, literally just crushing it, take it to the next level. I would love to hear your story and love to connect with you. So make sure that you utilize this. And this is your year to crush your competition and become the top one in your industry.